Greetings everyone. On the need of the students, Vertex Education has started video classes for our students, which can also be used by other aspirants in the tough time of pandemic COVID-19. So let's start with the chapter number 4, that is our quadratic equation. Previously, as we discussed about the quadratic equation in the chapter number 2, what exactly the quadratic equation and its basic concepts. So from the chapter number 2, we can take the quadratic equation. The general form of the quadratic equation was ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. This is the general form of the quadratic equation, which we had already discussed in the chapter number 2. From this form of the quadratic equation, we will get two information. Number 1, first information is that it has degree is equals to 2. Degree, what was the degree? Degree, it is the highest power of the variable in any equation or any statement. So first information is that this quadratic equation has a degree of 2. The second information what we get from this equation is number of zeros. Number of zeros, factors and roots is also 2. Number of zeros are same as the degree of the given equation. So in the chapter quadratic equations, we have the basic topics that we have to solve this quadratic equation. So we have the next topic, that is methods of solving quadratic equation. In this chapter quadratic equation, we have three methods for solving the equation. First one is by splitting middle term. First method. Second one is by method of completing squares. And the third method is quadratic formula. So you can solve this given quadratic equation using these three methods. Method number 1 is by splitting the middle term. Second one is the method of completing square, and the third method is the quadratic formula. From these three methods, the method number 1, that is splitting the middle term, it was already explained in the class 9th in chapter number 2. So again we will revise this method also. So let's start with this method by splitting middle term. So put the heading by splitting middle term. For this method, let's take an quadratic equation, that is x square plus 6x plus 5 is equals to 0. This is the quadratic equation which we had given. From the first of all, compare the given quadratic equation with its general form, whether the given equation is exactly in the form of quadratic equation or not. So compare it this. We had the general form ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. This is the general form of quadratic equation. So compare these two equations with each other. What we'll get? Ax square, that is x square, bx, that is 6x, c, that is constant 5 is equals to 0. That means your given quadratic equation is in the form of this. So from this given quadratic equation, what two information we extract? First one is degree. Degree of this is highest. What is the highest power of the variable? That is 2. Degree is 2. In the second, number of zeros. Number of zeros are also 2. So we have to solve this quadratic equation and we have to calculate these two. We have to find these two zeros. How? Now How we will calculate by using this, by splitting middle term. In this method, what we do, first of all, write down the quadratic equation x square plus 6x plus 5 is equals to 0. So what are the steps to solve these methods? In step number 1, so we will solve each and every method step by step. So for this method, step number 1, put the heading step number 1. In step number 1, what we will do, multiply first and the last term, that is 5 into x square. 5 into x square, it will become 5x square, and put this middle term as it is, 6x. Now what we have to do in the next step, step number 1 is clear. In the step number 1, we just have to multiply first and third, that is x square, and 5 into x square, that it will become 5x square, and put the middle term, that is 6x, as it is. That's it. This one is the step number 1. Now comes to the next step number 2. Step number 2. What this step has, we have to split the middle term, that is 6x. We have to split this 6x into two parts, so that multiplication of these two parts will be 5x square, and plus or minus, that will be of 6x. We have to search out two terms in such a way the multiplication of that two terms will be 5x square, and plus or minus will be of that two terms 6x. So we'll start it with 6x. It could be split into 5x and x, that is 5x and 1x. So check out, 5 into 1 is 5x square, and 5x plus 1x is 6x. So 6x could be split into two parts, that is two terms, that is 5x and 1x. These two, 5 plus 1 is 6, and 5 into x is 5x square. So step 2 is completed. We had already splitted our middle term 6x into these two terms. So comes to the step number 3. In the step number 3, what we will do, we will write x square first term as it is. Now split the middle. What was the middle term of ours? Middle term was 6x. So split this into two parts. What are the two parts? This 5x and this one, that is 1x. And last, that is third, 5. It will remain as it is. Plus 5 is equals to 0. So first and the last, these two terms will remain as it is, and the middle one is splitted into two parts. Now in the step number 3, we had 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4. We had these 4 terms. Now in this step, we will take common from first 2 and the next 2. What is the common from these two? That is x. What will be the remaining part? From the x square, we had taken x already outside, so 1x will remain inside, plus x is in common, so what is the remaining part? That is 5. यहाँ पे हम x कॉमन ले चुके हैं, तो उससे डिवाइड करेंगे x स्क्वायर, दैट मीन्स हमारे पास यहाँ पे 2x है, एक x कॉमन आ चुका है, तो यहाँ पे क्या रहेगा? 1x, ओनली 1. हेयर x बाहर आ चुका है, तो यहाँ पे क्या रहेगा? सिर्फ 5. सिमिलरली इन दीज टू टर्म्स, plus 1, there is nothing common, so 1 will be the common. Whenever there is nothing common in the terms, you can take 1 as a common. Same terms will be the remaining, x plus 5. In this step, you have to check that these two brackets must be same. If they are different, that means your question is wrong. So you can check your question on the step number 3. Here both the brackets are same, so you can take the common of this bracket, that is x plus 5. हमने x plus 5 दोनों में से common लिया है. What is the remaining part here? x. इसमें x रह गया आपका. यहाँ पे क्या रहता है? x plus 1. बिकॉज ये आपका कॉमन आ चुका है। कॉमन मीन्स आपने हर टर्म में से उस चीज़ को कट कर देना है। ये कट हो जाएगा, क्या बचा यहाँ पे x, इसमें भी ये कट हो जाएगा, क्या बच जाएगा 1 इज इक्वल्स टू 0। स्टेप नंबर 3 इज क्लियर। नाउ the last step of this question, that is step number 4. what you have to do, if multiplication, अगर दोनों टर्म्स की मल्टीप्लीकेशन 0 है, that means दोनों में से कोई भी 0 हो सकती है। it could be x plus 5 could be 0 और x plus 1 could be 0। यहाँ पे आपकी जो दोनों ब्रैकेट्स है उसको आप सेपरेटली 0 के इक्वल रखोगे। सो x इज इक्वल्स टू, हेयर इट इज प्लस, राइट हैंड साइड शिफ्ट होगा तो x आपका क्या आ गया -5। फ्रॉम हेयर यहाँ पे +1 है, राइट हैंड साइड प्लस है तो राइट हैंड साइड जाके क्या हो जाता है